what would you say to the gamer who, who engages in activities that I think you and me would, see falling in line with broader, NFT and Web3 adoption and excitement, but who maybe isn't quite like tuned in to why this might be interested to them, and also may not be interested in the earn side of this?
Yeah. So hopefully, like a simple answer is like what will take to awake players to this opportunity. Like hopefully there's just like a great AAA game, right? And like
Yeah.
show not tell is like probably I think the biggest kicker, right? Like uh, a great game comes onto the market, a big, esports influencer starts playing the game, people are engaged, people are like, what is this game? And hopefully they don't even have to know until like a couple of hours in that they're playing a Web3 game. I think from there on, it'll accelerate quickly, right? In some ways, Asia is actually already there. I talked to like the biggest South Korean game publishers. They're all doing full pivots to Web3, and like they're putting their thousands of game developers all in on Web3 games. And like
Really?
Asia has always led game adoption by 5 to 10 years. They were ahead on free to play. There was huge backlash to free to play games because people thought it was going to be pay to win. And so on some level, it's like your investment thesis could literally just be, let me tag every developer, every stellar developer in the world and see where they're going and just like blindly invest. Like that could be a great investment strategy. And so on some level, you look at these South Korean mobile publishers who are actually like creating a lot of games for the West. Like soon, like that's just what's going to be available because the best developers and the most interesting developers in the world are just building there. And at some point you won't even notice. And so I think that's one idea.
Yeah.
I think like from the, like, how do people think about the opportunity to earn side? Like people are already like kids in their bedrooms are like, amateur developers for Roblox games and they're raking in money. That's crazy. Kids are streaming on Twitch from their bedrooms and they're making a lot of money. Kids are winning Fortnite tournaments and like treating that as like a real, like, path to becoming a streamer, right? So I think this is already sort of proof of concept happening in some of the composable layers that already exist on top of games. But in Web3 games, I think it's sort of the one step further. Like a lot of these sort of Web 2.5 proofs of concept are really great. Like actually just one more example is like betting in games creates another layer. And what you see is like it drives way more engagement in sports, and every single, distribution channel for sports are now trying to also include sports betting into their stack. And so just to
you
like
see betting coming into more of the gaming like play experiences.
all sorts of spectator components. I think like the goal state in my head for like Web3 games is games that at the base layer give you enough tools such that you can remix, make the game interesting and extensible so that you can create complex interactive states. You can be an architect in the game. You can create a mini game within the game. You can like where the expressive richness of the game is high enough such that somebody can combine digital objects in ways that are better, that produce value for people. I think like a lot of these games are and have been virtual economies, right? Like, World of Warcraft, Ultima Online, EVE Online. And if you think about how economies grow with a fixed money supply, you can take economic growth and normalize for money supply. If the economy grows 12%, you've normalized for 2% inflation, you still have a 10-point delta, right? So like that doesn't answer the question of like, how do economies grow? And like what is actually happening is that producers figure out how to do more with less. So chips get smaller, Moore's law, chips get faster. That's how economies grow. The cycle of a dollar through the economy, the velocity gets faster. And so my hope is that the components, the building blocks of these virtual economies get complex and like expressive enough such that people can do more with less within those games. And that's like how you know that value is like people are driving value in these games.
You're listening to the Unstoppable Podcast, the go-to place for everyone to learn about the latest innovations in Web3, NFTs, and the decentralized web. Welcome to the metaverse.